Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Crew Talk with yours truly, Just JB, aka Yold Head, and Chris Brandow, repping Real TWC. How's everybody doing out there? Brandow, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'll tell you what, the wrestling world just does not stop. There's so much news to get to. We've been gone for 2 weeks, and there's been so much to talk about already. So we should just
Always so
jump
much
right
to talk
into it.
about. Yup, let's get to it. So, rapid fire. Elimination Chamber is next week, and last week on SmackDown, we had a elimination qualifying match, and Cody Rhodes won. What do you know? Cody Rhodes, good old Cody Rhodes wins. What do you think about that? And there's still a couple of qualifying matches left. We got Carmelo Hayes versus Damian Priest versus Trick Williams coming up. So, what do you think about how that's shaping up on the SmackDown side of things? And who do you think should face Drew McIntyre when it's all said and done?
It's tough to call right now because you have, to no shock of ours, Cody won. That was kind of a given that he was going to win the Elimination Chamber. And next week, I'd have Trick win. Throw Trick in there. I
Let's
think
go.
give it to Trick. Why not? But usually what they do then is, if I remember correctly, they usually have like a triple threat to see who gets the last spot, and they'll throw like three people from the previous ones in another triple threat or some kind of match, or
Uh-huh.
they'll go to like a battle royal, and then that person gets the last spot. So that could be anybody. So I think somehow Jacob Fatu has to find his way in the Elimination Chamber. It only makes sense to continue the story with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. So I feel like Jake will get that spot somehow. You know, with Cody, it's interesting because I feel like people are starting to wear thin on him a little bit. And if they want to pull the trigger on like a heel turn or something, they could definitely do that.
Uh-oh.
When they would do it, I don't know. But I think it would be pretty interesting if, he's sitting in the ring after he wins the Elimination Chamber or loses the Elimination Chamber. I think he shouldn't win the Elimination Chamber. That's one person I don't want to win the Elimination Chamber. If that's the case, where do you go with Drew? Do you go with Randy Orton? Possibly.
Possibly.
Or do you really do something crazy and go with Javon Evans? Now, that would be an eye-opener. I think people would be shocked at that. And we'll get to the job of Javon Evans in a minute. But, yeah, I think, Cody loses the Elimination Chamber. Something happens where they're sitting in the ring and, all of a sudden some kind of lost footage shows up and all of a sudden there's footage of Cody attacking Jacob. Could you imagine
All right.
on
Whoa.
faces?
That would be crazy, especially with Elimination Chamber being the 1 year anniversary or the PLE anniversary, 1 year anniversary of John Cena and turning heel and that shocking heel turn before it all went to crap, as we all know and always talk about. Cody turning heel would be very poetic. In fact, a certain Hollywood star wrestler wanted to turn Cody heel. So that would be very interesting if Cody, in fact, turned heel. And I remember bouncing some ideas off you. We bounced some ideas off each other. I was saying that you had some ideas that would probably be better than what WWE is actually going to come up with. If behind the scenes, this certain Hollywood star, mega wrestling star from back in the day, who we shall not name, was actually behind it all with Cody Rhodes making that potential turn. But we're just fantasy booking right here. I think if Cody Rhodes were to actually, turn heel, that would make things a little fresher. And I think he's been waiting for it. We've been told it's going to happen, so we'll see what happens with it. It's exciting to see what will take place.
And could you just imagine that happening and then Drew just boasting, "Ha, I told you I was telling you the truth. I told you I never attacked you, Jacob. I never attacked Jacob." See? And then it just makes Cody look so much worse than anything else. And I think this would work because I feel like the audience and the fans are really drawn to Jacob Fatu. He's got the natural charisma. People love him. He's his genuine self, and I think that's what people really like. I feel like sometimes people think Cody's put on the front of this like nice good guy act. Honestly,
Really,
he has the cadence of a heel, the way he talks and everything. So just make him a heel. I mean, I feel like at this point, the whole finish the story persona has died down.
run its course. You think it's ran its course?
Yeah, I do, and I think this would be the perfect launching pad to turn him heel. But then again, you got so many things that could happen at the Chamber, and we can touch upon that later about the box and all that stuff. But because that could be a big reveal as well. But yeah, I think at that point, if he doesn't win the Chamber, and it would probably be most likely Orton. Let's be real. Orton McIntyre makes a lot of sense too. So,
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they had LA Knight win, to be honest with you. But we all know that's not going to happen. I'm beginning to wonder, what did LA Knight do? Because it was definitely before his mess up at the Money in the Bank. There's been questionable booking with him over the past couple years, you can argue. So I guess we can all definitely predict basically factually that LA Knight will not be winning the Elimination Chamber. He's just going to be there because he's over, and he's going to give people hope in the crowd, in the audience, and he's ultimately not going to do it. He'll be eliminated, and it is what it is. But so we know how I guess Triple H is just toying with fans' emotions with LA Knight, because it's not happening. No matter what he does, it's just not going to happen.
I also think LA is so ingrained with the Vision storyline. I don't think it makes sense for him to win and face Drew McIntyre. It kind of would come out of left field, like, well,
fair enough.
The Vision. I feel like his path is Bronson Reed at Mania. I think that's the match to make there. He gets his revenge for him getting taken out on Raw 3 months ago, and I think it's a perfect storyline.
So let's keep it. Let's continue on with the SmackDown side of things before getting into the nitty gritty with Monday Night Raw. I think that. So Alexa Bliss is in the Chamber, and you mentioned something about Alexa Bliss. We were talking about her, and it seemed like that you kind of said that she's kind of like, she's so popular and everything like that, but she's kind of lost her aura a little bit. But at the same time, she's also helped reignite a little bit Charlotte. Charlotte was getting booed like crazy. Everyone was tired of Charlotte. You've heard me talk about Charlotte and how, getting a little sick and tired of her with the belt all the time, or with a championship all the time, despite her in-ring greatness. And it was clear that WWE partnered her with Alexa Bliss to kind of lower the fury towards her and everything like that. And I think it kind of has worked out. And that relationship has been pretty funny to see unfold on WWE programming. So what do you think? You think that there could be some friction going into the Chamber with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte being in the Chamber?
There could be. I think they'll play that up a little bit. I don't know though, because I feel like if you have them feud with each other, it just pretty much does all the damage that you just repaired from Charlotte. Honestly, I don't think that's the play. Charlotte, I can see Charlotte winning the Chamber though, because Charlotte versus Jade at Mania. Hell, there you go. Think about it. Last year, who did Charlotte wrestle? She wrestled Tiffany. Why?
Yeah.
Probably to help Tiffany out, because Charlotte is still the GOAT women's wrestler in WWE and of all time, in my opinion. And
oh boy.
The reason why they put her there in these spots are to make the other talent better. Who better to help Jade out than Charlotte? Someone that's really good in the ring, is a ring general. I think it makes perfect sense, because honestly, I don't see any other path for Jade. Do we want Tiffany versus Jade again? Nah, I don't need to see that again. They may go down that route. They're the only two people I think are going to win that Chamber match for the women. So, but yeah, that's how I look at things. And Alexa is just there to be a body in the Chamber, and everyone knows Alexa. So, I mean, honestly,
she's just there to be someone thrown, someone to put someone else over, and
popular superstar, and people have their roles at times, and that's the role she'll play now. Now, they could do something where Charlotte does beat Jade, and then Alexa turns on Charlotte. That would be interesting after Mania, and they could start a storyline there, maybe. So there's a couple ways they can go about that. But yeah, I don't think, Alexa's definitely helped out Charlotte a lot, but I don't think her in the Chamber really does anything with her chances of winning, for sure. So again, that's just my take on that.
Well, with continuing to talk about SmackDown, you had comments, Brandao, about Jade Cargill last week, or a couple weeks ago, I should say, and definitely we've gotten some responses on that take. And I think there's people who agree with you, man, but I also know there's people who disagree with you, which is a natural discourse of pro wrestling and these topics. She had a match against Jordynne Grace last SmackDown, and I thought it was fire. I thought she did a good job. I thought like I said, I'm a fan of Jade. I think that she is an awesome power wrestler. And with power wrestlers, sometimes there comes the lack of technical ability and everything like that, but which I don't think that you really need as a power wrestler. I think she's just impressive and imposing in the ring, and that's the job that and gimmick that she has and everything like that. And she held it down against a great worker in Jordan Grace. So what do you think about that, Brando? I thought Jade Cargill was overrated and couldn't wrestle. You have something to say?
Yeah, I do actually. So she was impressive in that match, and I think a lot of it too is because Jordan Grace is damn good in the ring and is also kind of like a Charlotte in that way of being a good ring general. Plus, Grace can match her power for power, so it kind of played off each other in that sense. My thing about Jade, and maybe I'll walk it back a little bit because I think some of the criticism I've given her maybe isn't deserved in that was probably WWE's fault, honestly. When she got signed, she should have started in NXT. She shouldn't have been brought to the main roster and catapulted. I know they wanted the big splash debut and Jade's here. They should have had her go to NXT. It would have helped her out a ton. And I will compare her to one wrestler that's currently in NXT that came from AEW. They didn't come out to the main roster, and that's Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe coming into NXT, honing her craft a little bit, I think is the perfect scenario for her. And I think it's going to pay in spades when she comes up in 6 months to a year, whatever that is, whatever the timeline for Blake is. And I think they should have done the same thing with G. So we'll see what happens. But I think, again, going back to my comment with Charlotte, if you get Charlotte Jade at WrestleMania, that'll also help Jade a ton. Look what it did for Tiffany Stratton.
Fair enough. I think it worked wonders for Tiffany Stratton and definitely made her more solidified on the roster, which is the goal. So you have any more thoughts on SmackDown?
I can't really think of anything else that was earth-shattering that happened. So that's about it for the most part.
We'll see what happens and what unfolds with the rest of Elimination Chamber as it takes place. Road to WrestleMania continues on, and major news that broke out as we head into Monday Night Raw. Javon Evans, Javon Evans winning at a spot in Elimination Chamber. The new era has arrived, and a certain iconic pro wrestler that we all grew up with, Kevin Nash, had comments about Javon Evans, about his gimmick and everything like that didn't come out really, it really didn't have good optics. And as we have talked about these days, especially in sports these days, optics are really important these days in today's world and everything like that. So Kevin Nash, who was a Wolfpack member and in the NWO and kind of, back, has always been has taken notes from Black influence culture in his past and everything like that, with, coming out to the rap music in the Wolfpack, his nickname of Big Sexy and everything like that, just his whole demeanor and everything like that, He basically was saying that he felt that Javon Evans should be more urban and everything like that. And it didn't really come out right. I think that I kind of knew what he was kind of saying, but at the same time, I also felt like he should have just kind of should have just not said anything, to be honest with you. And I'm happy that Kevin Nash came out and he clarified what he said. And he always has been supportive of Black wrestlers. If anyone listening and watching wants to go back and do the research, he has always been championing Black talent in the wrestling world. So kudos to Kevin Nash there. And he talked about being being from Detroit, and he just meant that he really was trying to say that he feels like Javon Evans should just have more edge to him. That's really what he was trying to say. But he kind of said it in probably, like, especially from a Black perspective, like, you just don't say that. You know what I mean? Especially with the stereotypes, the negative stereotypes that are placed upon Black people. I've dealt with that for a large period of my life and everything like that, from all sides, to be honest with y'all and you, Brandal. So my message to Javon Evans, I even hit him up on Instagram. I'm not sure if he saw the message, but Javon Evans, you just do you, man. You just be who you are. You just keep doing what you do, and it's working. and you don't have to change or be whatever for anybody else, man. You just got to stick to what brought you to the dance and be who the hell you are. And screw anyone that wants you to be any type of way, who's being actually serious about it. If you're hearing all that stuff, man, you just got to be your bouncy self, man. And that's good enough.
Yeah,
Brandon, you have anything else to add?
The only thing I got to say about Kevin Nash's comments are, you know, if you're going to comment on something about someone's gimmick or their ring work, there's probably better ways to put it than say what he said. It's offensive. All you could have said is, you need to really like lay your punches in more and be more aggressive and,
right.
Show some moxie in the ring instead of just doing all these flashy jumping moves all the time. But again, that's what got him there, like you said. I think he's just trying to try to put some ring psychology together with your moves, and that makes more sense. So I'll leave it at that. You pretty much said everything that needed to be said on this subject. So
yeah, definitely. So Javon Evans, congratulations. Love seeing you in the Elimination Chamber, man, and I cannot wait to see you tear it up in that ring, man. You're gonna do some wild shit.
Oh, yeah.
I am excited.
Crazy at the top of the chamber pod. You know what's coming. It's
gonna be crazy. And Kevin Nash, we both respect you. Much respect to what you brought to the industry, but also, yeah. So next topic in regards to that, what should we make of CM Punk versus Finn Balor at the Elimination Chamber right now? What do you think about that?
It's going to be a good match. I don't see the title changing hand. I think this is more of a way to get more heat on the Judgment Day breaking up and the dissension with Balor and everybody. Because you can see some of the faces they're making at Balor, like, oh, should we go in and attack him, attack Punk now? Balor's holding them back. I think they're starting to get tired of Balor. So I feel like this is going to be the beginning of the end of Judgment Day, and something's going to either happen at the Chamber or the night after Raw, and Balor's going to get kicked to the curb. That's just my opinion. So
I hear that. I do, like I said before, I do like that Balor's being used in this spot to move things along, and I like what you said about how this is, Punk gets to defend the title. It's going to be a good match. They're both great workers. There's probably going to be a lot of suspense in the match. There's going to be damn close 2 counts and everything like that. It might even look like Balor's going to win outright, and Punk's going to still pull it off, but they're going to make it. They're going to tear it up in the ring, and I like that. It's going to probably move along Judgment Day, and the seeds have all been planted with Finn Balor kind of going his own way, but other members of the Judgment Day kind of side-eyeing his new path that he's trying to lay out. So it should be really interesting to see what happens with that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. With Punk, after this is when after this match, then you could really rev up the Roman Reigns Punk feud, because where's Roman been since he showed up and got like, this is what I mean about Roman. Like, he just shows up like every couple weeks. Look, I love Roman Reigns. I feel like
that's what he does, man.
He's got to be more present though going forward. You can't be just like showing up like a week and then another week and then a month and then show up again. Like, this is WrestleMania season, man. You gotta step your game up. So hopefully we see.
Well, he's supposed to come back. I think he's on WWE programming for starting March 2nd. He's just he's going to be on every show he needs to be on until I think every Raw until WrestleMania. So we'll be seeing him. But I hear what you mean. I get what you mean. That's kind of what his whole thing has been since he's been the tribal chief, man.
Yeah, I get it. So yeah, once Punk gets past Balor, I think we can really start revving that up and getting that storyline cooking. I mean, I liked how it's beyond. I like the legit Roman Reigns hatred towards him.
Yeah.
I like what.
Roman and I want to add another thing, Brandon. Sorry, go ahead.
I like what Roman said, like on the ESPN interview about like no one stepping up and this, that, and the other. It's giving him more of a like he's pissed and he's like, I got to take the title back because no one else is stepping up. So this whole feud with him and Punk is going to be really interesting. The War Words is just getting started, and it's going to be must view TV.
Agreed. And I want to add, because I've seen other fellow influencers say this, much respect to the people that we've talked to out there into the social media land and everything like that. There is no need for anybody, in my opinion, to be added to Roman Reigns and CM Punk. They are two of the biggest stars of in the company in pro wrestling. Y'all heard me say in the prior episode that Roman Reigns literally has people that are going to think he's the greatest of all time because he held it down with the bloodline, and that it coincided, that storyline coincided with the modern day rise of WWE. CM Punk has always been a very popular, huge star over the past 15 years in the industry. They both, Roman Reigns has improved tremendously on the mic. CM Punk is one of the greatest mic workers of all time. They have history. They're going to be able to really carry and cook with this feud, and there is no need for anyone to be added. Triple H, I hope, because of the news of that's been broken about sales and everything, which we'll get into later on, but I think that there's no need to add anybody. I think it's important to trust these two stars, huge stars. One of them we did a poll. There's people in our audience who think Roman Reigns is Rock, Austin, Hogan, Cena level or getting to it fast. So because of, like I said, because of what he has done with the bloodline and his dominance and everything like that. Whether you agree or not, that's a whole other topic. But there's people, Roman Reigns he had a Vanity Fair article. He's going to be in Street Fighter with Cody Rhodes. He's rising pretty quickly. So you have the Punk's been out there in the media forever. Like they were both the Zebros in the latest Zootopia movie that grossed billions of dollars at the box office and everything like that. So you got the two people to carry this. There's no, I think respectfully, and this is from two people who grew up in the Attitude Era. In the back of me, I have Austin and Rock, WrestleMania 17. I'm a big Rock guy. Brandow's a big Stone Cold guy. We like Taker. We like all, Kane, all the classic OGs, right? There's no need to add anybody for this main event. Just want to add that out there. And I really hope, I am intrigued by Roman Reigns and Punk to see what they can do. Just have it be them, please, and they will cook. Trust me on it. I think we're in for a treat in regards to what those two are gonna do leading up.
I agree, and also I do want to actually ask you something that was brought up in our conversation we had, I think last night or when we were talking.
Let's do
you
it.
were saying how about Punk and how you weren't really a big fan of his back in the day, but he's grown on you a lot, especially this past year. I think he's gained your respect. I think that's because of the way when he's come to WWE, he's literally putting as much people over as he can. He's doing all the right things, saying all the right things, and he's being a company man, which who would have thought CM Punk a company man? But that's exactly what he's doing.
Right.
And I think, can you want to touch upon that a little bit and just your Punk net these days?
Yeah, my criticism on CM Punk has been, I think a lot of his stands, respectfully, I think they think he's a bigger star than what he is. That's all I've said. I think he's one of the greatest mic workers of all time. I think he's one of some of my favorite matches have featured CM Punk. I think Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk from SummerSlam 2013 is one of the best matches of the last 15 years. Him versus Cena at Money in the Bank and at the Monday Night Raw in 2013 were amazing matches. CM Punk is a great worker. I have just said that I don't think he is on the big three or now, big 4 or 5, however you want to do it. I don't think he's on that megastar level, but he's pretty big, and I think that that's all I have said. So I know I'm going to get like CM Punk stands, like really, they're going to be flooding probably our comments and DMs and stuff like that about that. But CM Punk is obviously one of the biggest stars of all time. I was just saying back in the day, or not back in the day, not too long ago, that I think I've seen people try to put him a little higher than I think he really is. That's just my humble opinion. But he can go on the mic with anybody. You can argue he's a Mount Rushmore level mic worker. And over the past year, I love what he's been doing with and you know how this goes, Brandon. I'm going to really give a lot of compliments to him, but no one's going to focus on all that. It's all going to be everything I said before. But it is what it is. That's what we do. We can take it. So I think over the last year or since he's been back, especially with regaining the title, and being a champion again. I love that he's taking notes from Bret Hart and paying homage to Bret Hart. When Bret Hart had the title in the 90s, he defended that damn title all the time on Monday Night Raw, and I love that CM Punk has been doing that and just taking challenges from people and just being a fighting champion. That's refreshing to see. That's something that we did not see, especially with Roman Reigns as the champion before they introduced that title that he will now be, that went to Seth. Roman Reigns joked about it being the secondary title because he had the undisputed title for so long. But now there's legitimacy with that world heavyweight championship that Roman Reigns and CM Punk will be vying for. And CM Punk has done an amazing job in defending it and giving it prestige over the last year. I have much props, much respect. I think he doesn't go out of bounds with mic work. And I think since the drama from AEW and everyone being worried about that, me included, I think that he's done pretty damn well since he's come back. He seems like he's in a happy place, and I'm just giving props. I'm going to keep that energy. I'm going to keep the same energy. He's proved me wrong with all that stuff. I don't know if other people we share that who have had disagreeing opinions about Punk. I don't know if other people we know share that, but I can man up and admit that he definitely he's been killing it. I feel like, I hope that, it continues up, and it's just been refreshing. So I know for you, that's really big to hear from me, because I've had my takes on CM Punk in terms of that, but just keeping it real.
I appreciate that. And I will say one last thing about Punk. It seems like, I guess I can compare it to, like, if you were married, you fell in love with somebody, and then you found somebody else, and then you fell in love all over again. It seems like he's fallen in love with pro wrestling all over again. And I think it took him time to be away from the industry, doing his own thing, trying MMA, coming back, doing AEW. That was like his toe in the water. I don't think it was ever the same in AEW for him, though. And then leaving AEW and coming back to WWE for a second chance, I think he's really just fell in love with it again, and like realized this is where I want to end my career at. This is exactly what I pictured when I was coming back to do another run. And you can see it in his face. You can just tell the guy's genuinely happier to be there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You never thought you'd see Punk to be like ecstatic to be in WWE again, but he is, and he's done a hell of a job. So hats off to him.
And hats off to him. And Brandon, I'll even add this. I thought, going way back, when it was Rock vs. Cena, I wanted CM Punk to be included into that main event. I thought he deserved to be in that main event back then. I know why they didn't do it, but I was perfectly fine. I was hoping that match with him and Cena back in the day. God, back in the day now. That's weird saying that. I was hoping that would end up in a draw, and somehow it would be a triple threat. I was very happy CM Punk was in night one, but let's be fair here. Night one, there's you open the door with that, like, that's not the real main event. Well, he's going to be in night two this year, so he deserves that main event spot. He's worked for it. He's been one of the biggest wrestlers over a decade now. He's one of the biggest stars in the industry. He's one of the greatest mic workers of all time. And lately he's been doing the damn thing in WWE, and he deserves all of it right now. So props there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Penta versus Dominic for the IC title. What say you, Brando?
Well, I mean, we saw Penta defeat El Grande Americano number 2 for the number 1 contendership. So I just think it's time for Penta to maybe get the strap. I mean, he's had a couple matches where he had a chance to get it. Last year was the Fatal 4-Way, and Dominic won, which I think shocked everybody. We were going crazy when he did it, and people were chanting Dirty Dom's name the whole time.
Yep.
The kid's so over. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, Penta versus Dom could be the beginning of the fracturing of the Judgment Day as well. Like, say Dom is about to win, and then like maybe Balor cost him by accident, or something weird happens, or maybe Dom just wins, and then they just go on with Dom being the IC title champion, and then somehow you get Balor Dom at Mania. There's a lot of different ways they can do it. They can do a triple threat. I just think Penta getting an Intercontinental title would make a lot of sense here. Dominic's held that for a long time, so we'll see what happens. Again, there's not much really to talk about there. It's going to be a great match no matter what happens. I think it's going to happen. I think they said it the Chamber, or maybe the next night on Raw. It might be in a couple of weeks on Raw. I don't know, but the Chamber makes a lot of sense for that match.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Let's get to 3 big things that we wanted to talk about in regards to Monday Night Raw. So, first off, who do you think the masked man is right now, interrupting the Vision and everything like that? The latest saga, the latest mystery of who's the masked man. Who do you think it is now, Brando?
I have no idea. People are saying Grayson Waller. I mean, honestly, if it's Grayson Waller, great, but it's not. I think they need to have some like when he unmasked, they need to have like a holy shit moment but it has to also make sense too in the storyline. So I don't know how I think they painted themselves in the corner here.
Well, we know it can't be Logan Paul. We know it can't be Logan Paul.
You can't be anybody like that. The only other person that like makes sense would be Seth Rollins. So they could always go down that route. If Seth Rollins, I think they may be doing this because they were not sure Seth Rollins was going to come back yet, and then the fact that like, okay, we know he's going to come back. All right, he's going to be the guy in the mask. If it's not him, they could just prolong it. God knows how long. Because Grayson Waller to me would be so underwhelming. It really would be like a fart in church. No one's going to care. It's like, no thanks. It's kind of like when Austin Theory revealed himself. Was anybody like, oh my God, it's Austin Theory? Some people were like, who was that? They didn't even recognize him. And he's been gone for so long. It just didn't have the impact. And
I got to say this about Austin Theory, bro. I hope it works out, but Austin Theory, I feel like, was a Vince guy, and he's just carried over with Triple H, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong here. It wasn't. I feel like it just hasn't caught on, but I kind of like this new attitude that he has. I actually and more. I think there's potential with it. We just have to see how. I think it will not do anything unless the Vision doesn't do anything, which kind of goes into what I kind of wanted to kind of ask everybody watching this and listening to this, considering the expectations, has the Vision kind of failed a little bit? Like, let's just for just like a couple minutes. Let's think. What do you think about that, Brando? Like, you think about the big heel turn with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania last year, WrestleMania 41, big moment. And he forms it. He's a leader of this stable. We know Triple H loves the stables. I mean, he was in 2 of the biggest of the past 20 years, arguably, 25 years, arguably, in DX and Evolution, and he was in the Authority. So we know Triple H loves stables. And Stephanie McMahon, Helmsley era, like he loves himself some stables. I just named 4 stables that he's been a part of, and the corporation, by the way. So he's been a part of a lot of stables. He loves them. He loves himself some stables. So Seth Rollins, and the Vision. It started off well, but right now, since Braun Breaker is injured, Seth Rollins is injured, and they turned on Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins was injured and they needed to get him out of there. And this masked man, is this all working with Heyman and everybody? Like, what do you think? Is this should they just scrap this, or how can this be saved? What do you think?
The Vision is this. I think the Vision's had a lot of unfortunate things happen in the planning of the Vision. The first thing being Seth Rollins getting hurt, and then trying to figure out a way around that. And then, they started getting momentum with Braun taking leadership and Bronson Reed taking out Roman Reigns. I mean, can't forget about that. That was a big win. What pay-per-view was that? That was during was it Clash? I can't remember where it was, but it was during the day.
Yeah, it was one of the ones during the day off the top of our.
I think it was Clash.
It might have been Clash, but I'll have to double check.
And then you had Logan Paul joining. And Logan Paul is a superstar, no matter how you slice it. He's really hated. So I don't think it's star power that they're lacking. Just when they were starting to get things going, then Braun Breaker gets hurt. So like, they're kind of been thrown into like a tailspin, trying to figure out what to do now, because this masked man was supposed to probably be Seth Rollins, and he's probably going to face Braun Breaker. But now Braun Breaker's out.
They're both injured. Braun Breaker might be out for like what? He's missed. You might not see him until SummerSlam, right? He's out for a bit. Is that true?
Yeah, they're saying that hernia is a pretty bad injury.
Awful, bad break. That sucks.
So I think we got to hold off on the Vision saying it's a foul stable, just because they really haven't gotten a fair shake at the actual stable yet with everything that's happened to them. Now this is where it is creatives responsibility to figure out what to do with the stable. And make this masked man make sense, because I heard everything from Grayson Waller. I've heard, God forbid, Bad Bunny, which makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, Bad Bunny came running across and knocked Braun Breaker on his ass at the Rumble. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. No, sorry, doesn't make sense to me. So it has to be someone that makes sense. And honestly, who does? I mean, the only one that you can really sadly say is Grayson Waller, because of the ties to the Austin Theory. But it's not going to go over well if Grayson Waller pulls that mask off and it's his face. We're like, really?
Yeah.
I heard Jericho. Jericho doesn't fit either. How does Jericho fit? It doesn't fit.
It doesn't. Yeah.
You can go for shock factor, but what's the shock? The only thing that fits is if it's a young superstar, and it's because they're doing Seth Rollins' dirty work, and then it reveals that they're Seth Rollins is in cahoots with them. That's why, Grayson Waller, I think, doesn't work there, because it's Grayson Waller. No one really cares too much about Grayson Waller, unfortunately. But what if it was Ricky Saints, though? What if it was revealed to be Ricky Saints?
It could be an opportunity to bring someone who's in NXT to give them an opportunity on the main roster, and that'd be cool.
Like that.
That'd be cool.
I don't. They can pick whoever, but I don't know. I feel like I think they're in trouble here with this. I don't know how they're going to get themselves out of this reveal to be a big deal. And maybe they know that, and maybe they know it's going to be underwhelming, and then maybe that's why it leads me to our next segment: is what's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
I feel like they made
Who's in the box
up because I know that other things are going to be bad, and they need to have some kind of big reveal. And the box can be anything, so it doesn't have to.
It has to be Jericho. It has to be something related to Jericho. I don't know what else. What other surprise could? What other surprise can they do at this point? Like Taker's retired. He's not coming. He's not going to do anything. And any big star that's going to do anything won't do anything until Saudi Mania next year. That's that. So there's nothing. Who's going to come to? What's going to be this big thing other than Chris Jericho? We all know he's going to come. We all know he's coming back. So
is he? Did you hear the news on Jericho?
Yeah. I heard. I don't believe it.
Froze his contract.
Yada yada yada.
That's a lot of hearsay. I mean,
yeah,
it could be frozen. It could be frozen till tomorrow. We don't know.
That could all be tied up until 2 hours before he has to show up. Come on. I'm just saying. We'll see. I'll take it with a grain of salt.
And I think next week, this weekend, and then he's free. So it would all coincide to him being at the Chamber. But I just think him. So okay, say he hits the box. Well, what do you do with the box? Is he going to just like pop out of the box? Come on, that doesn't sound like Jericho. That sounds cheesy as shit, honestly.
Yeah.
But what if the box opens and it's like maybe a bunch of stuff? Maybe it's a list and a light jacket and like stuff from his past. And everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Then all of a sudden the lights go down and then boom.
That'd be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
That's the way to do it, I think. You need like a holy shit moment.
Old attire and stuff like that. That would be pretty cool.
Here's the other thing too. He debuted in Chicago on Monday Night Raw in 1999.
Yep.
I mean, Jericho pays attention to details like that, and I feel like that would be so poetic for him to return where he debuted at in Chicago. So,
well, we'll see what happens with that. That's gonna.
I mean, if it's not Jericho, like you said,
I don't know. Oh man, Kevin Owens would be awesome. Now that would be good.
I don't know how he would do it. I don't know if he's ready to come back yet, though. I mean,
that's the thing, though. I don't think he's ready to come back yet, man.
But then again, you never heard anything, so who knows? Maybe he's ready. He's fine. He's like sitting there, like, yeah, I'm ready. I've been training, and no one knows, and it all depends when the box is revealed too. So say the box is revealed like at like a lull on and like between matches. It's like okay, but it would be quite a moment depending on who's in the ring. Like the box thing, it depends also when during the Elimination Chamber the reveal is. I feel like if it's towards the end, it's going to be a big moment. If it's in the middle, it still might be a big moment, but it depends on the placement. If it's during like a segment where Sami Zayn's in the ring or something, then maybe it could be Kevin Owens because that would make sense.
Yeah. Yep.
It could also be like if Gunther's in the ring and then it's like, and it reveals Jericho would make sense there too. If you're going to go Jericho Gunther at Mania, I don't know.
The career killer. Of course. I mean, of course.
But we'll see. It'd be
Yeah,
fun. I can't wait to see who's in the box.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens at Elimination Chamber for sure. And I like what you said about it depends on when they're going to do it too. If it's, I mean, if it's towards the end, then it really solidifies it's either going to be Chris Jericho. But we shall see what happens. Another big thing. So moving on, another big thing that has been revealed is that there's going to be a celebration for AJ Styles, who retired. So I wonder, with past retirement angles in wrestling, could this be an angle where AJ Styles unretires? What do you think? What do you think about that, Brando?
It's possible, especially that he was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast a couple of weeks ago and saying, "Well, you never say never." He's like, everyone makes a comeback at least once after retirement, and Stephanie was like, "Yeah, maybe sooner than later." Even like hinted at it, maybe like it could be Mania. Why they would do that, I don't know how they would get there. Interesting. Who knows? Maybe AJ comes out during Gunther's match after he beats up on whoever, or maybe he just comes out and then Gunther interrupts him and he said, "You know what? You made Cena tap, but I didn't tap," and maybe that pisses Gunther off to the point where he's like, "I need to make you tap now." He unretires and has a match, but there's obviously going to be a stipulation if AJ wins, what does he get from it?
I think, Brando, it screams if they're having a retirement celebration on Monday Night Raw, the Monday Night Raw before Elimination Chamber, by the way, it screams that there's going to be more to this, that there's going to be, there's going to be something that maybe makes AJ Styles be involved in something. Maybe he's retired, maybe he's not retired, and something takes place. Maybe yeah, who knows? But it screams that something else is going to happen. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. And you know what? What if it was just like a goodbye to the state, so the fans in the States could say goodbye to him too? You never know what WWE's gonna do, but
that's true.
It's possible. I feel like if that happened, if everyone was like, "Really, that's all that was?" Okay. I mean, he's got to be there. They didn't say he was going to be there, but by the way, remember they didn't say that. So, but I got to imagine he's got to be there. I mean, what's the point of a farewell to AJ Styles if he's not going to be there?
Yeah, exactly. That wouldn't make much sense.
Well, it'd be interesting. And then this leads me to Gunther and what he's going to do. I think Gunther obviously is going to face Dragon Lee now and probably at Elimination Chamber and beat the holy hell out of him. And my fear is, as much as I don't want to see it, is Gunther versus Rey Mysterio, because I think that's how you get the Rey Mysterio if he takes out Dragon Lee. And then you have Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. Now, is it a career match? Who knows?
Might as well make it a career match because that's all Gunther's doing these days. He's just killing careers.
Okay. Stay with me for a second here. I just thought of something that would be interesting. I don't know how they do this, but what if during the match, Gunther's about to beat Rey Mysterio, say they have this match at Mania, and Dominic interferes, and
oh boy,
he's Rey, and you have the big moment where they reunite, the fans eat it up. Now, how about a second swerve where you think it's over, and then Dominic just kicks Rey right in the balls, and he's on the ground, and he grabs him and says, "I want to be the one to retire you." He walks.
That would be that. That sounds par for the course. I would mark out for that.
Like,
probably.
Oh my god, he saved his dad. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Say like he was about to rip his mask off or something.
Yep.
He was like going to take his mask, and then Dominic saves him from that, and they're like, "Oh, you know what?" And then Dominic says, "I want to be the one that takes your retires you, and you get there and leaves your mask or something."
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
So much heat too. I think.
Totally.
I think that would be kind of cool, but I don't know if they would go down that route. We'll see. But just a thought that just popped in my head out of nowhere, and I don't know my brain was always moving.
Well, in this world of wrestling, man, there's all these different pathways that can happen with these storylines and everything like that.
Hey, Triple H, if you're listening, you might want to take some notes there.
Which leads us to this. One of the bigger stories of the past week or two has been the reveal that there's been a little bit of a ticket sale struggle for WrestleMania 42. Why do we think that is? And what should WWE do? I have my opinions about it that I can go into. Brando, what do you think?
It's kind of obvious that, since TKO has taken over, they just want to jack up the prices on everyone, and people can't afford them. It's just Vegas, and also Vegas is not cheap. Like even if you were there last year, and it's just exactly what I was saying to somebody else earlier. Me and you went to Vegas, right? We had a great time. But we're
Yep.
looking at, dude, do we have the money to spend again? It was really expensive last time. Do we want to do this
Yeah.
all over again and spend all this money? Honestly, no, I don't. I experienced Vegas. I had it a good time. It was a great time. Don't get me wrong.
But back-to-back years, yeah,
Yeah,
of
and
course.
the prices are even more now. It's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
You're pricing your fan base out when you're talking about families. Families are probably putting stuff on their credit cards, ruining their credit to go to these shows. People are irresponsible in that situation. So, but I know they don't care. So just $10,000 to sit here, 4 people. Yeah, let's run our credit card up, and we can't afford it. TKO needs to learn that they're pricing families out. Families can't afford this stuff. The average household's not going to spend 10 to 15 grand to go to WrestleMania. It's just not fair. TKO needs to learn that they should not be running their business model like they do at UFC, boxing, where it's one big event and everyone's paying all this money to go see one big event. WWE is an never-ending saga. It's episodic TV, so every show has a thread into it. It's a show. So they got to understand the business model, and I think they're really dropping the ball here. And this kind of should really scare them about Saudi Arabia and what's going to happen the following year. So they need to fix this out. I know some of it might be booking. I feel like maybe we can revisit this in a month or ends.
Oh boy, I've been pinching this. Talk about this.
I know.
I have to say this. Last year, when everybody was dissing The Rock and everything like that, and I understand. I understand completely. I have my opinions about it, but I understand why everyone was mad at The Rock. I think people went a little overboard with the criticism, because I think The Rock just would have showed up for one night, which is WrestleMania 41. That's all everybody wanted to do. And then he would have been gone. So if people are going to get that upset about not showing up for one night and that ruins the entire thing, then fine. But my criticism and feedback about it was, yes, The Rock up until WrestleMania 41, if you want to blame him on that, fine. But after that, that falls on Triple H and creative. You had WrestleMania 2024 with the whole fiasco with The Rock and Cody Rhodes and everything like that, and Triple H, and they all collaborated with that and turned it into magic. It was some of the best WWE programming culmination storylines that we've seen in a very, very long time. I would say since the Attitude Era, it was that good, in my opinion, with everybody firing on all cylinders with that. Then you had last year, which, okay, the heel turn happened, and you had Cena and Cody Rhodes and the build-up to WrestleMania. If you remember, Brandao, the build-up, even when we were expecting The Rock to show up at Mania, remember, before that, I don't think people were like all gung-ho about the build-up to WrestleMania then. And then after Rock doesn't show up, they continue on, and there's some good matches with Cena, some good nostalgia matches with Cena and AJ Styles and Punk and Orton. We can argue that, you can argue that the heel turn didn't really deliver in many ways too. Now, some people, once again, will blame The Rock for that, but I was trying to say, what about Triple H? What about the head of creative? Shouldn't they be able to do more than what they've been able to muster up? So now in 2026, there is no Rock. There is no Cena. This is what you got. So is it time to finally put some side eye to Triple H and creative to this WrestleMania buildup? We need to see how it unfolds. He's still got a good, he's basically got exactly 2 months, to be honest with y'all. To be honest with you, should we be looking at him now to be like, okay, man, what you got? Because right now there's really no excuse now. That's why earlier on I was saying, please keep it Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Don't panic because of the ticket sales. Use your team. You're the head of creative. Let's get out of this. Let's see what you got. So that's just my opinion on it. And I'm a fan of Triple H. I think that I was excited. I think he's done some really cool things since he's taken over. With that feedback, like I just gave, comes with the job. And I don't see if this is a WrestleMania buildup that is very subpar, besides the main event with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, we might need to start asking some questions. But I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, Triple H is definitely have to fall on the sword here if this fails. I mean, there's no excuses. You can't hide behind, The Rock didn't show up or this didn't happen. Also, I do believe that TKO is a big reason why these things are happening too.
You've been calling that out, to be fair, Brando. You have been calling that out. I don't hear other people calling it out as much, but you have been really in depth. Like, you're not giving Triple H an out, but being like, look, you can't just ignore the fact that there might be a lot of cooks in this kitchen.
There's a small rumor that they want to bring Vince back, TKO possibly. I really hope that's not the case, but there is a possibility that that could happen, and that'd be a damn shame, honestly. I mean, Triple H has done a pretty damn good job, I think, so far, and I don't think everyone's has their peaks and valleys in the industry, and even Vince McMahon had some great ideas, but he also has some terrible ideas. It's really hard to book something solidly for a long time and just be so buttoned up. But like I said, we just got to see what happens in the next month to see really where this build-up goes. They do have a good base with the Mania. Some of the Mania matches are building to the Punk Reigns match. You have the whole Fatu, Cody, McIntyre storyline. We got to see where they go with the rest of the card. We don't know who Gunther's fighting yet for sure. Brock's gonna get involved. So what's Brock gonna do? Brock's gonna be involved in it.
Still got LA Knight, still got Oba, you still got Javon Evans. You have a plethora of talent.
Some of the younger guys may not be in Mania for the most part because there's too many, just a lot of spots, but not that many spots. So yeah, we have to just see what happens. I can see like them doing the Andre Giant Battle Royal and like having like Oba win that or something stupid, but that doesn't really do anything for anybody. But yeah, we just got to see how the card gets built out in the next couple of months. I think we'll know more come mid-March, about a month away from Mania, where these matches are going. Are we going to get the Charlotte versus Jade match? Because I think that now it needs to happen. The women's match, Liv versus Stephanie Valkyrie, honestly, it'll be a good match, but it's not got me interested. I think they're trying to put some interest in it by what they did on Raw the other night. But again, the card just got to come out and get built. We'll see. Flops, guess what? Sorry, Trips. You're to blame for this one, man.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll definitely see what happens. I think we can both say we're supporters of Triple H. I mean, we grew up with him throughout the years. I hope, Triple H, that you succeed. You continue to succeed, but that still doesn't absolve you, and you know this. He knows this. That doesn't absolve him from feedback and constructive criticism from watchers such as ourselves and the audience that he's trying to earn business from, right? So I think that closes the door on what we got from Monday Night Raw. Brandon, we might as well just call this the NXT segment. You're the NXT guy of the group. Feel free to let the viewers and let the listeners in on what's the latest and greatest and what's going on with NXT.
Yeah, I think NXT has been firing all cylinders lately. I mean, this past week's episode was awesome. I mean, you had a good match between Ethan Page and Shiloh. They really like this Shiloh kid. If anyone knows Shiloh from LFG, that's where he was first brought on. He was on season 1, didn't get the contract. Season 2, he won, got the contract. You have, who's the other big character on there that it's escaping my name, Carver. They're starting to push him, and he's been in here for a cup of coffee, and everyone's so drawn to him. He's just a beast of a guy, and he just is like a killer. Yeah, Ethan Page did retain the title. They've been trying to tease this whole Ethan Page, Miles Bourne feud, and Miles Bourne getting a title shot, and Ethan Page said, "No, I'm not giving you one. Well, it finally came to a head last episode where Miles Bourne came out after Ethan Page defeated Shiloh, attacked him, beat him down, put the chair on his ankle, and threatened to snap his ankle. And finally, Ethan Page said, "Oh my God, I'll give you a match. I'll give you a match." But I like what they did here is as Miles Bourne was walking away, satisfied, Ethan Page had to open his big mouth and say, "I knew you didn't have it in you to do that."
Yep, I saw that.
Miles Bourne jumped right on his head. Boom. I think it gave Miles Bourne a nice edge to his character that he needed. And they've been showing that the past couple weeks of NXT that Miles Bourne's getting more and more aggressive. Like he got in a shot of his face before the match. I said, "I need you. I don't want you to win." Basically, he was like, "I want to take that title away from him." And Charlotte's like, "Well, you're going to have to take it away from me." And he's like, "Don't interfere in my match." And he did interfere. He waited until he lost and he came in. So they're keeping Miles Bourne as a babyface, obviously doing that in that manner. So yeah, that should be a good match. And then with the NXT title with Hendry, not sure what they're going to do with this. I think him and Starks will be the Saints. Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints. I still can't get that right. Will be a good match.
No worries.
I think they're building that for stand and deliver. And unfortunately, we had an injury to Jada Parker, who has a neck injury.
Jada, no.
I know. It sucks, man. It does. I was hoping that, her, I don't know how bad of an injury it is, but her feud with Blake Monroe is just starting to heat up. They were both perfect opponents for each other. But that leads to an opportunity for Thea Hale again, because it seems that Blake Monroe is just throwing her hat into the Speed Championship tournament, which, by the way, I hate the Speed. The whole idea of Speed is stupid. 2-minute matches. It's dumb. But if it gets people on TV and it gets them, to do their stuff, great. But it's going to get Blake Monroe, Thea Hale, the rematch. We've been waiting for it since Thea Hale won the title from her by mistake, supposedly. It wasn't supposed to happen. And
yeah, wasn't supposed to happen.
But now we get that match. And honestly, I hope Thea wins. I think Thea needs to get her due diligence from what she's been doing in NXT since she's been there. She's come a long way. The crowd loves her. But then again, does this hurt Blake Monroe too much if she loses? So it'll be interesting to see how they book that and where that storyline goes. Another great women's match was the Lola Vice Kalani Jordan match. Now that match, Kalani Jordan's come a long way since turning heel. She won the TNA title a while back. Just lost it recently to, I forget her name in TNA, but since she's been back on NXT TV a lot, she's had this new attitude. I think it fits her well. The match with Lola Vice was great. They had a great match. They had good chemistry in the ring, and the finish was awesome. Like, I loved how they told the story of Lola Vice trying to smash her head in with a spinning elbow, and she missed and smashed into a wall, hurt herself. Kalani took advantage of her and actually made her submit. She made Lola Vice tap out, which I don't think anyone saw coming.
That's wild.
That storyline's going to continue probably up until Stand and Deliver as well. I think they're both main roster ready, honestly. I think, Lola and Kalani can step in there. They have so much talent in the women's division. It's crazy.
Brimming with talent, man. NXT is just brimming with talent. It's crazy.
More talent. We have this whole Sol Ruka versus JC Jane and Fatal Influence, with Zarya being jealous of Sol because last week, whoever got the pin got the title shot. Sol got the pin. Zarya's all pissy now because Sol got the win. Now, before the night was over, Zarya was in the backstage and said, "I don't want to talk to you. She walked away from her, whatever." So then when Fatal Influence was in the ring with JC Jane and they were talking, Sol came out and they were making fun of her, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, she's about to get jumped and she's getting beat up, and Zarya comes out. And I think everyone thought, is Zarya going to hurt Sol, or is she going to attack Sol? No, she saves Sol Ruka, chases Fatal Influence off, picks up Sol, gives her a hug. Everyone's like, oh. I was kind of waiting for maybe like when she turned it back to attack her. I'm like, they're not doing it yet. It's going to come though. And my prediction is when Sol finally wins the match and beats JC Jane and wins the title, Zarya is going to come out like she's going to celebrate with her, and then bam, take her out. And the next night, the next episode of NXT, she can say to Sol, "I want to be the one that takes that title from you. That's why I've been waiting for you to win that title, so I can take it away from you, so you can see how it feels to have something opportunity taken from you." And I think that's where you're going to Stand and Deliver with those two. And I think that would be a really interesting match. And they've been building up to it for damn near 6 to 8 months, with the tension between the two after them becoming a tag team and doing all these things. And I think if that happens and Sol does beat JC, I think JC's coming up to the main roster soon. They put her in the Rumble. There's a reason they do that. When they do that, they usually come up right at the WrestleMania. They did it with Jordan Grace. I think they did it with somebody else last year too, and they came right up. But yeah, so that's my NXT recap. JB, do you have any thoughts on that, or what are your?
Hey man, you ran through with that. I did see the end. I was able to catch the end of NXT with what happened with Ethan Page. Ethan Page sold the utter hell out of getting his his ankle shattered in that with that spot right there. And I thought it's just NXT has so much talent, and we were just criticizing, giving constructive feedback to Triple H, but the best thing that he's ever done is create NXT, and the funneling of the future of WWE, it's arguably brighter than ever due to NXT. As long as I think the only thing is like the transition from NXT, which is like, the minor league basically, onto the main roster, which is a kind of a different beast in terms of just like, even with Triple H leading the charge and being into the more technical work rate style of matches, the main roster still kind of caters more to like, the storylines and the promos and everything like that. And I know they do that in NXT too, but NXT is definitely more focused with like the more technical side of wrestling and the more work rate workers and everything like that, and that space. So I just love the fact that there's more talent than ever that's going through NXT. As you said, the women's division is more potent than ever. I mean, the three big people in and the three young people that have risen up in WWE, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Oba Femi, all from NXT, and how we're killing it in NXT. And there's just more and more people that are just coming through. Sol Ruka at the Royal Rumble, which we talked about last episode, put people on notice. Like, Lola Vice, when she comes through, she's gonna continue to put people on notice. Jada Parker, just the list goes on. So, as long as it's massaged right, as long as it's funneled correctly and handled with care, is what I'm getting at. I think that quote unquote assembly line of just replenishing talent through NXT is, should pay dividends for the most part. So that's all I got to add to that.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much, like I said, NXT women's division is in great hands in the future for WWE. And honestly, NXT as a whole is in great hands because your GOAT is
Shawn Michaels, yeah, because he's killing it.
I know he's your actual GOAT, not The Rock, but
he's my in-ring performer GOAT. Yes, HBK.
So they're in great hands with him running the show down there. So,
yep. So that closes the door, folks, on NXT, WWE. Let's get into some AEW. AEW just had a big pay-per-view. Excuse me, PLE pay-per-view. I like to say pay-per-view. All right, like, for Christ's sake,
it was on Collision. It was a Collision special for
Collision. It was a special event. Come on, y'all know what it is. Like,
it was on TNT.
Okay, all right. Like, special event. Sorry, it wasn't a pay-per-view, but it was built up like it was a pay-per-view. But I got you. A special event, Collision, and everything like that. What did you think about the event? I was able to catch up on it. I really liked Hangman Adam Page versus Andrade. I thought that match was amazing, to be honest with you. The Spanish Fly that he hit was sick. On that Andrade hit on Hangman was awesome. But what do you think? What do you think about it?
So I caught most of it. I watched the most important parts of it, obviously. Let's see. That match was good. I mean, I figured Hangman was winning, especially if MJF's going to keep the title. They weren't going to put the title on anybody else. And I'm like, well, they've been teasing Hangman versus MJF in the Collision course for goddamn near a year now. It makes sense to have them go at each other. Now, I do want to talk about the proto star, Kyle Fletcher. The guy,
he's a talent, man. I like him. Kyle Fletcher's been killing it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad that Ciampa had to lose the title to him, but Ciampa losing the title so soon set up a match between Kyle Fletcher and Briscoe in a ladder match that I thought was excellent.
It was excellent.
I mean, it was a great match. Now
that might have been match of the night, man. I think that might have been match of the night.
I think it was. Yeah, I mean, definitely was match of the night, in my opinion. Fletcher is going to be. He's got to get the title eventually. I don't know. He's got years to try to get the title from whoever, but
he's rising fast, Brandel. Kyle Fletcher is going to be a name.
Champion again, and I think that's the right move to put the belt on him. He has great matches. I think because of Ospreay being out, it's really giving Fletcher a chance to shine. And they fought each other a couple times. I mean, they used to be tag partners and all that stuff. So, yeah, those two, Ospreay and Fletcher, I mean, they're the foundation of AEW along with MJF, I believe, at this point. But, yeah, I don't know who his next opponent's going to be. I don't know what they got in store for him. But there's also this whole Don Callis family where there's like 1,000 members, which, whatever. I can't keep track of who's who anymore. I mean, there's so many members. Andrade's in there now. but I feel like there's a little fracture in the Don Callis family between Takeshita and I'm gonna say Otani, Jesus, Okada. My mind's on baseball already, as you can see. But yeah, Okada and Takeshita, they need to run it back. I mean, you could see the jealousy between Fletcher and the three of those three in that little. Oh, he's my friend. No, like that whole thing is just. It's interesting how they're trying to navigate that because one of them's gonna have to turn babyface out of those three. It doesn't make any sense for all three of them to be heels and feuding. It just doesn't. And Okada's got his own title anyway. I forget what title is because AEW has too many titles. I can't.
That's a crap load of titles, man.
There's international. There's I don't know what the other ones are. I think there's international, and I think there's a national.
He's the current international champion.
Yeah, and then there's a national champion. I think that's Ricochet has that one. And then there's a TNT, and then there's
a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot for both sides. Then there was you had the Orange Cassidy, Tony Storm, Wheeler Yuta, Marina Shafir match.
That match was entertaining. I thought that match was pretty entertaining.
I think the whole takeaway I got from that was Wheeler Yuta having to get his hair cut. And the big
Moxley.
thing about that was that he was trying to leave, and who stops him? John
Moxley.
Moxley says, "No,
yeah,
you lost. You got to take accountability. You get in that ring, and you get." To me, that tells me that Moxley's turning babyface very soon. It's a weird dynamic because the rest of that Death Riders they're heels. They do dastardly things, and ever since Moxley won that belt, whatever belt that is, I forget what the hell belt that is he has. What's that called? I forget what that's called. Is that the Intercontinental? No, they can't call it.
I know it's a lot to keep up with for sure.
Maybe it's the Outer Continental. I don't know, but
he's the AEW Continental Champion.
Oh, Continental. That's close. Continental.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ever since he's won that belt, he's been more of a babyface, saying people earned it, this, that, and the other. And his match with Takeshita was awesome too. Like, I'd like to see them run that back, and I think they may be running that back soon. Yeah, I think that's definitely a possible face turn, and when that does happen, it'll be solidified when they turn on him and all beat him down, and that's when you're going to get the complete Moxley face turn.
So you were talking more about Ciampa. Did
Yeah.
you have any more thoughts with that, with how he was losing the titles?
He came
winning and losing it.
He comes in, he wins the title. Oh my god! And then it's like he defends it once and then he loses it again. And it's like, I get it. They want to get the belt on Fletcher, and the only way to do that would be to have him Ciampa lose to Briscoe, and then
excuse me.
Yeah, Ciampa beat Briscoe, and he'll be in the picture too. And I can see them going to Kyle Fletcher Ciampa now as a program, and I'm down for it for sure. I mean, I know they had a match and Fletcher took it off of Ciampa to set up the Briscoe Fletcher match. But they can always do something where they run it back, or they can have a triple threat with them now. There's possible. They're definitely using Ciampa in the way that he should be used in AEW. I loved him in NXT. His run in NXT was awesome, but since he got brought up to the main roster, it was nothing. It really wasn't. Nothing really came of it, and I don't know why. They made him a joke with The Miz at one point.
He was floundering, and then, like I said in the past episode, DIY with like they came out in DX wear, and that's like the kind of the biggest thing that they did on the main roster. Like they had, they had a couple moments here and there, but it just wasn't hitting.
I don't know why they, because Triple H loved, and it was running NXT then when they were huge. So you would have thought he would have pushed this to the moon. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he just didn't think he was going to get over. I don't know if it was I don't know, but he's better off in AEW. He seems very happy, and good for him, man. I just hope he continues to have great matches, because that's AEW is all about the matches for the most part, and they're getting better in telling stories, but there's still a lot of like discombobulated stories and things going on. You're like, wait, what's going on here? But they're getting better at it. The main focus is their stars. MJF, that match that he had and where he beat Brody. I love the story they told him how like Brody hurt his knee and then he went right after the knee. That was the only way he was going to beat him because Brody was such a big man.
Yep.
So great storytelling there.
And I like the ending. I like the ending too.
Yeah.
Now, with all that said with MJF, let's head to Dynamite. MJF and Hangman Adam Page, their stipulations for Revolution. What do you think about that?
So it was funny because MJF was being all smug, saying this to Hangman, this, that, the other, and then Hangman's like, "You didn't hear my stipulation yet." But Hangman's like, "Well, I will. If I lose this match, I will never, ever get a AEW title shot as long as I am in this company." And he's saying that, and then he's like, so MJF's all laughing at him, all smug. He's like, "Oh, by the way, it's a Texas death match."
Crazy.
So, and then MJF went from like laughing to like, "Oh shit, what did I get myself into?" And then MJF's like, "Well, I'm not going to reveal my stipulation until next week." And that was the cliffhanger after that. So Texas death match with MJF and Hangman, okay.
They're going to tear it up, man.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, they do this Texas death match once or twice a year in AEW.
Yep.
It's usually either Hangman or Moxley are in it. I don't think anyone else has ever been in it besides those two. One of those two have always been in it, I think.
Yeah, man.
Gonna be a good one. I like the belt for the story. I don't see how MJF is losing. Why take the belt for MJF so soon? It doesn't make any sense.
Stranger things have happened, but I think I'm cool with. Hey, I'm a fan of MJF. I'm cool with him holding it down for a while.
Hangman loses, right? He's never gonna fight for the AEW title ever again.
True.
I mean,
they could also bounce the title off each other. I don't, if they want to go that like
they could
that style of booking.
They could. That's true. So we'll see where that goes. The other big takeaway from Dynamite was Swerve beating Omega, which I thought Omega was going to win the match. And then when he beat him clean too. And it was like, oh, okay, Swerve, whatever. Then all of a sudden he just started beating the living hell out of him for no reason. It's just like being
he said, I need this. Yeah, he put him through the table. Camera came up to him. He's like, I need this. I know. You got to do what you got to do.
He even pushed his buddy, Prince Nana, away. And I was like, oh, wow, they must be going full heel with Swerve at this point. But honestly, the only way this is going to stick, and then they started this. If you notice, maybe what was like 4 or 5 months ago, they changed his music.
Yeah,
to something different. Usually, when they do that in wrestling, there's going to be a character change. Usually,
there's a character change, or it's when like they're about to go on a big run. Like they did it. A couple notable ones that are pretty famous within the pro wrestling is like when they changed like Thugonomics to the time is now for John Cena. You knew that's when he's going to be the face of the company. Or like when The Rock in 1999, he had that "Do You Smell What the Rock Was Cooking?" That slow. I love that theme, that slow theme with the corporation. But then it went to "If You Smell the Rock Is Cooking." That was with like more upbeat. Because Austin was about to be out and Rock was like white hot and he was going to have his run. I think even LA Knight had a new version of his song. They always do that when there's a new path laid out for the character or there's a gimmick change for sure.
But honestly, for this whole Swerve heel turn to really work, he has to ditch Nana. He has to.
No, don't do it. I was thinking about that. When is he going to ditch Nana?
Beat the ever living shit out of Nana. Bloody him and get people to stop singing the Swerve song and the dancing, and I guarantee Swerve will get booed out of the building. I'm telling you right now. That's the route you want to go, because this whole heel turn came out of nowhere. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like,
I hear you. If they want to make it,
bloody up Nana. I'm all about it. If you're gonna make Swerve a heel,
bloody up Nana. Oh my god.
Yep, bloody up Nana. I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, man! We'll see what happens with more of the with what happens with AEW Fallout. We'll see what happens over the weekend and leading up in this ever present 24/7 world of pro wrestling. Right. Next up, as we start to close down, we got TNA. The TNA moved to AMC, and we were talking about this, like the ratings. You were mentioning that the ratings have skyrocketed for them. What do you think that going to AMC has meant for TNA?
It's been awesome. I mean, they got a national platform that everyone knows how to find. First of all, a lot of people are like, what channel's TNA on? Well, I don't have that channel. My cable company doesn't carry that. Where's that at? I don't know. Everyone knows where AMC is at, and it's done wonders for them. It's gotten a lot of eyes on their product. Good for them. I also think it helps that they have the Hardys there. Pushing the product, and it's just the presentation has gotten really good. Like the production, I'm like, wow, they really are doing well with the production. Like I was watching, like, trying to compare that to AEW, and I was like, what? You know what? They might be a little better than AEW production wise. Just the way they do certain things, where when they cut into the ring and they look at a wrestler when something's happening, and everything is coming together for them, and I can't be more happy for them, because you have it's just one of the things where, like, TNA was around for a long time, and how many times were they given the they're going to be out of business, their death of TNA is coming, and every time they're about to die, they rise back up, and I think right now more than ever they're stronger than ever, and they have a lot of people, and it also helps that they have a partnership with WWE. I mean,
yeah, dude,
Hendry at Mania was huge for them. That put a lot of eyes on Hendry, because he was in TNA, the NXT back and forth with like swapping titles, TNA wrestlers being on NXT and NXT wrestlers being on TNA. How about, here's another one. What about Javon Evans and what's his name? I forget.
Leon Slater.
Who was it? Leon Slater, right?
Yeah, Leon Slater. Yep.
I don't know. I kept Heath Slater kept on popping in my head for some reason. Leon Slater and that tag match against on the main roster, like that's a pretty big deal. Like, to put TNA in that spotlight. So I feel like all that's helped, and with WWE helping them. So kudos to them for kudos to WWE for like saying, we'll work with you, we'll put your guys on there, and now you have an actual space you can go to watch it and not look around and be like, where's this at?
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see what the ratings do this week. If they go up even more, it'd be interesting. I'm probably gonna watch TNA as soon as I get off this podcast and catch up with what's going on tonight.
Sounds good. We also wanted to talk about Santana was attacked by Steve Macklin.
Yeah, Macklin lost the Feast or Fire match, and now it's like, okay, well, now he's attacking Santana, so I'm guessing they're not firing Macklin after all, and it's going to lead to Santana saying, rehire him so I can get a piece of him. And then I think that's a big match they're going to set up. Yeah.
And what do you think about the everything going on with Ariana Grace being the new TNA Women's Champ?
I did not see that one coming. I'll tell you that. I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
Bit of a surprise, right?
You know, ever since they put her with Stacks, she's had this like new attitude, because everyone's looking at her like the ditzy girl from NXT with Santina's daughter. I don't know if anyone knows that, but that's, I mean, if you're watching the show, you kind of know that, because they even tell you about it every time. Good for her. You know, she's been in NXT for a while now, and to put her in TNA, she just fits better there. So awesome. So yeah, and then we got to see what the Hardys do. Apparently, they're on a collision course with probably the Righteous at some point. That's going to happen. And just one thing about the Hardys, real quick. Is it possible we get a Hardys versus Usos in WrestleMania match?
I wouldn't mind it.
What else are the Usos going to do at Mania? Seriously, but
it looks like they're going to. It looks like the Usos are going to be, that we've been given a break from the solo Jey Uso run, which I know a lot of people are probably happy about. And so that would be very entertaining. I wouldn't mind a Usos versus Hardys match. That'd be pretty crazy. Actually, the crowd will be hyped up for that.
I can see it.
So who knows what happens? I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Like, just having the Hardys in TNA has been great for them too, because
it's
familiar faces. People are like, oh, the Hardys. Some people are like, I didn't even know they still wrestled. It's like, yeah, oh wow, they're still pretty good. There you go. So yeah, TNA. Props to TNA, man.
Yeah, TNA. I'm happy that TNA is now on like a bigger stage, and I think when all the other wrestling promotions are elevated, that helps out the entire world of pro wrestling. I want to see as many promotions flourish as possible, and if everyone's firing at all cylinders, it just makes for better viewing. We were spoiled by that in the coming up in the 90s and early 2000s when you had ECW, WCW, and WWE. At one point, they were all firing at all cylinders, especially between 97 and 99. They all were just killing it at the same time for periods. And it was amazing programming at the time. So the more of that happening with all the promotions in today's landscape, the better. It means that everybody's on their game, everybody's on their shit, and that makes for everlasting memorable moments in this wonderful world of pro wrestling. And I'm going to keep saying it. Pro wrestling is life these days. So is there anything else that you'd like to add, Brandel, in regards to our discussion this evening?
No, I think we covered it all for the most part. I'm excited for the never-ending week of wrestling. It's just a continuous circle.
Yep.
I think we're going to get some interesting
developments
for SmackDown for sure. And then Monday night, I cannot wait for Raw. I actually am really excited about Raw just because like there's so many interesting things that can happen on Raw. I really want to see what happens with AJ Styles, where they're going with this whole retirement thing.
Your move, Triple H. Your move, buddy.
Yeah, really.
Struggling sales. Let's see what you got, buddy.
And then the following weekend, we got Elimination Chamber. So I guess our next podcast will be the after Raw Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, we'll have a big fallout for that. There's going to be a lot of we're going to be a lot to catch up on with that. So everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in and listening and watching. We really appreciate it. And once again, pro wrestling is life, and thank you for supporting us. And stay tuned for more. And y'all have a great evening. Y'all have a great week, and continue to embrace and enjoy the wonderful world that is pro wrestling. Thank you all very much. Brandau and Just JB, Real TWC, signing off. Thank you all very much.
Peace.